Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 15 and compare it against the iPhone 14 and see which iPhone is the better one for you in 2025. Now, the big thing I can definitely tell you is number one, if you have all the money in the world, then definitely going up to something like an iPhone 15 would make a lot more sense. But why even stop there? I would just recommend buying an iPhone 15 Pro or something like that at that point. So this phone does a really good job, I would say, for the most part of giving you a lot of capability, but which one is better for the value? Let's go and see. If you want to pick up either one of these phones though, links will be down in the description below. You can get that from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these particular phones. The iPhone 14 originally came out back in 2022. So this phone is a little bit older now. It's definitely not like the latest and greatest phone anymore. It's definitely showing its age just a little bit, but I do think that's totally okay. This phone on the front side is giving you a 6.1 inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So this type of panel and this type of display, it does do a good job at kind of giving you, a good type of panel for today's standards because it's turning 3 years old. You're getting, a notch up top, which is a little bit outdated. The screen is definitely not the brightest display of all time. It's only 1200 nits of brightness. So it's definitely showing its age, but it's not really a terrible panel compared to the 15. It's 60 Hertz, the notch, and it's 1200 nits of brightness. It's kind of the big thing to keep in mind here. But the iPhone 15 is also not like the best panel of all time either. The thing to keep in mind here with the iPhone 15 is that this is one of those types of devices that is giving you the same size display. So it is giving you a 6.1 inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So that right there is a nice thing to have. I like being able to buy a phone like this and give me that type of capability. It's going to be the same size display, but it is giving you a dynamic island here. So this is already a pretty big difference. Going from that standard type of notch to a dynamic island in and of itself, I think, is a pretty big difference when it comes down to it. Now, on top of that, it is a 60 Hertz display, so that's kind of a downside, but it does give you 2000 nits of brightness. So that right there, it is a pretty big difference in and of itself of being able to go through and buy a phone like this that's going to be giving me, that 2000 nits of brightness, because that is a really big thing. So although, this type of device and these types of phones, they're not really like the best types of phones. They're not supposed to be the Pros or anything like that or the Pro Maxes, but they still are very good, very functional, very beautiful phones for the most part. And I'm still very big fans of the way these types of devices hold up from that particular perspective. So from that side, I would say that kind of covers it up there just a little bit. On the bottom, this is a really big difference. The iPhone 14 is giving you a Lightning port. The iPhone 15 is giving you a USB Type-C port. So this is in and of itself a very big difference. If you are wanting the phone that is going to be giving you the better type of experience here, just from the I/O standpoint, the iPhone 15 is definitely going to be the one for you here. I love USB-C, and this is without a doubt going to be the biggest one of the biggest differences here. Flat sides on both. The design on the back though is slightly different here. The iPhone 15 is giving you a frosted glass back. The iPhone 14 is giving you a standard glass back. So that right there is also another really big thing to keep in mind here too. Because if you are wanting the phone that is going to be giving you kind of the better experience on the backside, the iPhone 15 once again is going to be the winner here for the most part. So if you are wanting the better phone here again, the iPhone 15 is probably going to be the one that I would recommend a majority of people to go and buy because it is going to hold up better there. Dual camera setups on both as well. From a price tag standpoint, this is also going to be something that's kind of interesting because they're both giving you, pretty good types of, price tags. But keep in mind that the iPhone 15 is definitely going to be the one that is probably going to not, it's going to be more expensive than the iPhone 14, but probably by like $100 or so. So that right there could be another big thing to keep in mind here for the most part as well. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there. From the camera standpoint, these two phones are giving you very similar types of experiences here, but there are some slight differences here as well. So number one, the iPhone 15 is essentially going to be able to go through and give you, a dual 12 megapixel camera. The main lens though is, 48 megapixels, which is pretty big. The iPhone 14 on the other hand is basically going to give you, essentially the dual camera setup, but that one's going to be a 12 megapixel camera on both. So that right there is going to be a slight difference as well. Again, it's not going to be the biggest difference in the world, but if you are about to go through and pick up a device, that could be one thing to kind of keep in mind there as well. So I would say you're still getting 4K at 60 on the back of both, which is always nice to have. You're going to be able to get a good type of experience on both and everything like that's going to be good. But if you are wanting the better camera, the iPhone 15 is going to be the one here that is going to essentially be giving you that type of capability when it comes down to it. So once again, from that side, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now, on top of that, another very big thing to keep in mind here too is the fact that between both these phones, they're both fairly interesting when it kind of comes down to it. The big thing you're going to have to remember here is that when it comes down to software support, both these phones are still supported with software, and they're both still going to be supported with software for like many years from now. So it's not like today or tomorrow these phones are going to be outdated. These phones are still going to be here probably for like another like 3 to 4 years. So these devices still have a long software support ahead of it, which I think is something very important to kind of keep in mind, because if you are wanting the phone that is going to be giving you a better type of experience, it is going to be either like an iPhone. It's going to be one of those types of iPhones, right? That right there is going to be one thing to keep in mind. But I would imagine that on the flip side, if you are about to go through and pick up something like an iPhone 15, you would expect it to last longer because it does cost more money. The 14 is cheaper, so it's not going to last as long, but that's still totally okay. So I feel like that right there is another one of those big things to keep in mind there too, because if you are wanting a phone that is going to be giving you a better experience there, I do think that is one of those big things to keep in mind there from that particular side as well. Now, finally, when it comes down to the performance side, this is also another very, very big thing to keep in mind here too. The iPhone 15 is going to be giving you the Apple A16 Bionic chip inside of it with 6 gigs of RAM. The iPhone 14 is giving you the Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 6 gigs of RAM as well. From the performance side, I always have felt like the iPhone 14 was a good performing phone. I've always had a really good time with it. And, although this was not like the most perfect phone of all time, I do feel like this type of device, for the most part, being able to pick it up and use it and all that stuff, this type of device does a really good job at, most things that you end up throwing at it here. With something like the iPhone 15, this one is ever so slightly faster. So this type of device is going to be giving you like an overall faster type of experience. And I do think this is in and of itself one of those big things to keep in mind there too. Because if you do want a phone that is going to be giving you a better experience, that right there, it's just one of those kind of small things to keep in mind there. I feel like something like an iPhone 15 is going to be a faster, better type of device. I think the iPhone 14 is still good, for the most part, but the 15 is definitely a bigger one when it comes down to it from that side. So when it kind of comes down to it, what I can definitely tell you is that I do look at something like an iPhone 15, and I do think this type of device is kind of the better one in almost every single way. That's the type of device that I look at, and it seems like that's the best one for the most part. I think with something like an iPhone, 14, this one is still good. This one is still like giving you a good experience and everything like that. But I do feel like there are some cases where I look at something like an iPhone 14 and I'm like, wow, no USB-C, no dynamic island, no high brightness display, no frosted glass back. I'm like, well, it does make a lot of sense to go and get something like an iPhone 15 because it does hold up that much better when it comes down to it from that side. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there for the most part. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.